Strawweight champion, the one and only Thug Rose namajunas. She's back. What's up, Rose? How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I was trying to remember the first time you ever, we're back doing this show here, and I was trying to remember the first time you were ever on the show, kind of in the background as an amateur with the long hair. I don't remember. You probably don't as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
A lifetime ago.
Yes. Yeah.
A lifetime ago, but it's always great to have you on. By the way, off the top, I just wanted to ask you, a lot of people lately, and I didn't want to run with this out of respect for you, so I want to get your blessing or not. A lot of people, I don't know if you know this, have been referring to me as Thug Nose. And this is, of course, paying homage to you. Am I allowed to run with this, Rose, or would you rather me stand back?
Of course. That's what I'm calling you every time now.
I mean, it's a pretty damn good nickname, if you ask me, right? I mean, Thug Nose, pretty damn good.
Yes.
Okay, so I have your blessing.
Of course, yeah.
All right, cool. Thug Rose meets Thug Nose here on the MMA Hour. Yeah. Great to talk to you. Can I ask you off the bat, it seemed to me like you were interested. I remember the last time we spoke after the win in April, you were interested in running it back with Carla Esparza. You end up with Zhang right away, immediate rematch. Were you surprised when they ended up with Zhang as your next opponent and not Carla?
Originally I was, just because of how, impressive Carla looked. But, I think when I step out of like my shoes and into the UFC shoes, I guess that's what makes more sense to them. And then when I really think about it, Weili is still the most dangerous opponent I could face. But in all actuality, at the end of the day, I don't really feel like it matters who I fight, because opponents can change. All that matters to me is just being ready for a fight November 6th.
So you don't have an emotional investment, Carla, there's a backstory there, of course, the first strawweight fight here, you know what I mean?
Of course, would I want to get that one back? Of course. You know what I mean? Like that's originally, like, I was kind of stuck on that at first, but I kind of had to like step outside myself and be like, well, what if I, I got to be ready for whoever, you know what I mean? And Weili is more dangerous in my opinion. So if I really want to challenge myself, that's the challenge that's going to get me up just a little bit more. But I mean, I want to fight Carla eventually? Yes. As long as she keeps winning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if something else doesn't happen, but I would for sure want to fight her.
Is there a part of you, just curious, that sort of feels bad for Carla in the sense that maybe if she was a little more flashy, getting knockout when she'd get this spot? You know how it is in this sport, right? It's not necessarily the person who deserves it who gets it.
Yeah, I do. I kind of do feel for her. She's been dominant for a while now, and then she had a really impressive performance this last time. And she's been patient and whatnot. But there's also other really like great top contenders currently. Like obviously Marina Rodriguez looked really good too. I don't know, but Carla beat her, so it's just one of those things. Like, yeah, I do feel bad for her, but at the same time, I don't know. I feel like that's the fight that like fighters always have this, like we have the fight and then we have like the outside fight and that's her journey. And, I've had my little challenges and bumps in the road. And I think she's a champ, she has a champion mindset, and I have no doubt that she's going to figure it out.
Do they like in this case, cause you are the champion, did they ask you who you prefer, or was it just, this is the direction we want to go?
Let me see if I can remember. Yeah, no, I think they just offered Weili.
Okay.
6, yeah.
Why do you think that she's tougher than Carla? Is it because of her striking?
No, I don't think she's tougher or not tougher. If anything, Carla's like super tough. I think that Weili just has more dangerous tools. I mean, you've seen the damage. Take it, obviously, like Carla in her last fight, whatchamacallit, she had them nasty elbows, and you could tell she's getting better. But Weili, I think, has more dangerous tools. So I have to be on top of my game. No matter who I'm fighting, you know what I mean? Anybody can hurt you, But I think just based on Whaley's resume and what she's done to her opponents, that's more. Yeah, it keeps me on my toes.
What do you think of Zhang Weili shaving her head? Not quite as short as yours, but she drastically changed her look. She moved her camp to Arizona. She's training now with Henry Cejudo and the team over there. When you heard about all of this and saw all of this, what did you think?
I think that she's got for sure cutting your hair I think is the move for any female fighter, any fighter for that matter. Like, hair does get in the way. So her doing that, I'm sure she's seen a benefit, and I think she used to have short hair her whole life, as a kid. But I think, just from my understanding, she grew it out, and then now she kind of realized that she wants to go back to how it used to be. As far as her training camp and training with Henry Cejudo, I think she can pick up a few things, and I think it's probably better than what she's been doing. So I'm just expecting a better version of her, and maybe a little more well-rounded and whatnot. But at the end of the day, it's all about my preparation, and obviously, like, I wanted to fight Carla, so she's gonna wrestle a little more than great. Let me test that out too. So I'm ready for all of it.
Are you expecting her to try to make this more of a wrestling match, to try to close the distance and try to grapple with you, clinch with you? I mean, the last fight didn't last very long, but are you expecting a different approach from her?
I think the closer she is, well, I shouldn't say that. I think in her mind, she was losing on the outside, so let me make it close. I mean, that's probably what she's thinking. But she hasn't even felt how strong I am, or what these feel like. So you know what I mean. So it's worth a shot, but you know what I mean. Like, I'm not an easy fight nowhere.
Speaking of which, I saw Pat posted something on Instagram of your arms, asking when your arms got bigger than his. You got massive missiles now for arms. I mean, I remember when you were just kind of like, the very tall. And what happened? How did this happen?
I'm 29 years old.
Man, that is
a baby no more. No, I just shoot, gardening and like carrying buckets, and everybody want to do these, have these strength and conditioning coaches, but go dig a hole and move some rocks and carry some farmer carry buckets. You know what I mean? Like, that'll get you in shape.
How is the garden looking these days?
Well, so the community garden's a little closed down right now. We're just kind of moving some stuff indoors and preparing for like the next step. I'm helping a friend with some land, and we're planting some trees and stuff like that. So there's I feel like we're in a transition right now, and it's pretty cool because I've been wanting to plant some trees for the longest time. So I'm learning about that.
Why did it close down, by the way? Because of the weather or because of COVID?
Oh, no. It's been open through COVID, but the October 30th is when the season is over with. Gotcha. But it's pretty much done for me, because I'm in training camp, so I just kind of been slowly closing things down a little bit at a time.
Okay.
But yeah, it's the weather.
You're fighting on this card again with Kamaru Usman. Trevor Whitman, your head coach, who's in the running for Coach of the Year once again, has not only you and Kamaru, but also Justin Gaethje on the card. Is it a different kind of vibe when all three of the biggest names in the sport are all competing on the same card at the gym? Is it different when all of you guys are peaking at the same time? What's it like as opposed to when it's just you fighting on the card, or Kamaru or Justin? I know Kamaru's a little new to the team, but you get the point.
So it's kind of similar in a sense, as far as what the training is at Onyx, just because for the last two fights, me and Kamaru have been, on the same cards. And then Gaethje comes in a little bit later, so it's kind of the same as far as the training is concerned. And the vibes are getting ready for a fight, man. But as far as every training camp's just a little bit different, situations, context of things. There's always a little bit of a different sentiment, but I think the process is always the same. You go through your ups and your downs, your good days, your bad days, but today I'm feeling really in shape and really ready. So, yeah.
we've obviously talked a lot in the past about your first run as champion. Your second run has now lasted around, 6 or so months since you last won the title. Could you say that there is a difference this time around about how you feel about the belt, about being champion? You haven't defended it yet, but is there a different feeling in terms of your relationship towards the title and just the idea of you as champion this time around?
I do. Not like super drastically different, but my life is just so much. I'm filled with so many more blessings, and being able to recognize my blessings. Obviously, I'm not perfect. I still have days where I'm like, feeling sorry for myself and whatnot. but I definitely know. I think I just have a better sense of like what it is that I'm doing with the belt. You know what I mean? Instead of just like, okay, I'm just gonna have some fights and win as much as I can. Like I have like a direct vision of like each step of the way what it is that I want to do, and I don't know. It's hard to really put it into words, but I do feel more comfortable with it. I feel like before it was like, okay, I got this thing, but you know what I mean? I know I'm good, but I didn't really know. I really have nothing but proof that I'm awesome and really good at this.
Would it be fair to